All right. Hey, guys. So I was feeling super motivated to create this video and just kind of share a little bit about my story and how I got into this business and kind of how I created this business while working full time, my um, why and vision behind it, and kind of some of those fears that I had joining in and kind of some of the skepticism that I had before joining in, because it's stuff that I hear from women all the time. So I figured having it all in one video and just addressing all of it would be the most beneficial. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dylan Mills. I have been coaching for 3 years now. And when I joined in, I was teaching full time. I had just wrapped up my 3rd year teaching. I was home for the summer. My husband and I were trying to get pregnant and it wasn't happening. And for a control freak like me, having this huge life situation not happening and not being able to control it was really, really hard on me. And I was having a ton of anxiety and just kind of displaced worry. And we were also, being a teacher household, we were also just kind of stuck income-wise. We would have people inviting us to join them on a vacation or go out to eat or something like that. And every time we wanted to do that, we were having to put it on credit cards, or we were both stressing out super hard because how are we going to afford this? We were getting to the end of every month, and every single month, the very last week of the month, I had to put groceries on a credit card because we didn't have enough money. And as we're trying to get pregnant, that was something else that was popping up for my husband, because he's our more realistic, like budget-friendly person, was how would we even afford a kid because we can't barely afford ourselves. And I was like, it's fine. It works out. It always works out. And he's like, I don't know how we'll afford daycare. I don't know how we would do this, do that. And it was just a lot on me. And I saw all these women that were sharing about this coaching opportunity, and they had just come back from a retreat. And it's something that I had been invited to in the past. I used to have a Tone It Up account. For anybody that's done Tone It Up, I had a Tone It Up account that was did not even have my name on it. I think it was TIU _ and I think it had my initials or something. And I shared on there, but it was not attached to my regular account. I would have been super embarrassed for anybody to find it. And through there, I had different people reach out and invite me to the coaching opportunity. And every single time I said no. And I had, who is my coach now, Ashley, reach out to me. And finally I was like, you know what, I'll explore it. I'll look through. And I ended up chickening out and blocked her. And instead of telling her I wasn't going to do it, I just blocked her and just kind of went on with my day. And I continued to kind of receive some invites, and I just kept saying no or blocking or whatever. And I ended up deleting that account. And so at this point, fast forward to where I was, it was this summer, and I was just lost. And Ashley popped up on my Explore page, and I saw that she had just hosted this big retreat and had some other coaches come. And it was their very first retreat. And then I was hardcore stalking every single person's page. And the one thing that I noticed was just this positivity and purpose that each of them had. And that was something that I was so lacking in that moment, that I was like, you know what? That seed had been planted. It was already kind of in the back of my mind. And the thoughts I couldn't do that. It's not real. They probably are staying home because their husbands make a bunch of money. All these different things were popping up. And in that moment, something just clicked in me, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to reach out to her and tell her I think I'm ready to do this. And if she answers, cool. If not, then I'm just not going to do it. And she ended up answering and sent me some more information, and I went through all of the sneak peek videos and watched every single one of them, because I was off for the summer. Trent was working during the summer at a camp, and I watched all of them and was like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm just going to jump in. And I was terrified. My anxiety was way high because it was so out of my comfort zone. And it was something that I was just so fearful of failing at, but also fearful of what other people were going to think. Okay, so I have to get out of my comfort zone. I have to share about all of the stuff that I'm doing on social media. I have to use this platform where all my friends and family see it. What if other people make fun of me? What if other people don't like it? What if other people get annoyed or whatever? All those thoughts came to mind. but I did it. And I ended up signing up, and I was like, worst case scenario, I'll just cancel it and nobody has to know. Or worst case scenario, I get some workouts and I'll just do those and nobody has to know. And I started this new coach mentorship. And starting in, I was given all these videos to watch, and I flew through them in like a day. And I just fell more and more in love with the potential behind it the further I got into videos. And I remember telling my husband, who was skeptical at the time, like, I think I could do this. Like, I think I could do it, but maybe not. But I think I could, but maybe not. I don't know. And I went back and forth and finally watched this one video where it was like, okay, you need to share your story on social media. You need to let people know that you signed up to do this thing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And that's kind of testing the waters. If I get really negative feedback or people are making fun, then I'll just quit. And if I get positive feedback, I'll just keep doing it. Well, I got positive feedback, and I had people say, that's great. I was already into running, and I was already teaching spin classes. So people were like, that's right up your alley, whatever. It was all positive. But I was so scared of what other people's reactions were going to be to that one post that my anxiety was like through the roof. I was so terrified. And I look back now, and it's just crazy to me that something like that, and I know there's people out there that relate like, oh, I don't know what other people would think. But you guys, other people's opinions don't change who I am. What other people think of what I'm doing doesn't change what it's done for me, doesn't change what it's done for my family. If I'm not causing anybody else harm, then I don't need to worry about what other people think of what I'm doing. Now, if what I'm doing is hurting other people or harming someone else, then I need to stop. But if what I'm doing is bringing me joy and helping my family and supporting my family and allowing me to stay home now and made me the healthiest I've ever been in my life, then why would I stop because someone else does not like it? And that's the realization that I've had now, whereas back then I was not as comfortable. I was not as confident. And I know that that's something that takes some time to grow into, but I do challenge you guys, if this is something that is kind of pulling at your heartstrings and it's something that you're interested in pursuing, I do highly recommend that you go after it. Like, try it. Just see what happens. Because I promise when you do, it's going to change your life. And so fast forward, I started doing it. I finally shared that post, and I decided after I got a little bit of positive feedback from that one post, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going all in. And my goals at the time were not to stay home. We didn't have kids yet. But I just knew I wanted to build it. Like, I wanted to have some extra income for us. I didn't want to have to put our last week of groceries on a credit card. I didn't want to know that if you run a debit card as credit, you could get gas even if there's like barely any money on the card. But if you run it as debit, it won't let you if you only have $5. Those were things I did not want to be familiar with anymore because it was stressful and it sucked and I wanted more. I didn't want to just be stuck in this place. And so I kind of went all in. I posted all the time. That was what all the training said back then. Post 3 to 5 times per day. Get your face out there, whatever. And I did. I will say I did have friends unfollow me. And I'll be honest, it stung at the time. And I just have gotten to this point now where the people who are in your life that are supporting you are the people that are there for the long haul. The people that are fair weather friends and don't stick around with you for those big moments are not the people that you need in your life anyways. And no ill will towards anyone else, but I just feel like we cannot expend that much energy on people who are not going to support us. So anyways, I joined into this. I went all in, went on my very first retreat. I hustled for it, pushed for it, and made it there. And from there, I just kind of fell in love. Like, the potential behind this, you see people share about it, you hear about it, you'll hear me talk about it. And I know there's still people that are like, yeah, but I couldn't do that. And I want you guys to know there's nothing special that I did or that I have that you don't have or that you can't do. I built this business while teaching full time, while going through fertility treatments. Then when getting pregnant, being sick as anything from 6 weeks till about like 22 weeks, then having to be on bed rest in the ACU for 16 or 17 days, then having a baby in the NICU for a little over a week, then having that baby not sleep through the night once she hit like a month old, to finding out I was pregnant with a second baby at 14 weeks postpartum, to being on bed rest with that baby while raising another baby, to having 2 babies right now that are 11 months apart and being able to stay home with them. And all that time I was still teaching. So I understand our fear of being too busy or having too much on our plate. But what I have found is that this opportunity in this business has been my constant. So even in those moments where life got hard or other things around me out of my control were hard or difficult or not what I wanted them to be, or, I mean, I didn't want to be sick while I was pregnant, but I did want to be pregnant. But this was my constant. This was my thing when I still had a hard day of teaching. This was my thing that I could come home and control. I could reach out to other women. I could find women who look like my people that I would want to have a happy hour play date with. And I could reach out to them and invite them to these groups and invite them to join in with me, just like someone else did for me. I never would have joined into this opportunity if someone hadn't reached out and invited me, because that's what planted that seed and made me start to think, well, maybe I could do this, but no. But maybe I could, but no. So that's what planted that seed for me. And that's why I reach out to other women, whether they want to do it or not, whether they're ready to do it or not. But I love finding the other Dylans out there who have things in common with me, who are in similar life stages. Maybe you have kids and you're just struggling to find yourself. Maybe you would love to stay home with your kids, but you just don't know how that's possible. Maybe you just are looking for a way to gain back your confidence and find yourself or find your purpose or find your passion. Or maybe you're like me and that passion and positivity are just kind of in limbo right now and you just need something with purpose. And that's where this comes in. So I challenge you guys, if this is something that's on your heart, you're watching this video and you've made it to this point, I don't even know what minute I'm at now, but you've made it to this point, I challenge you to send me a message, or in the comments or whatever description underneath this, I'm going to put a link to fill out a form for anybody who's interested to just send me your information so that we can start a conversation. Maybe you sign up, maybe you decide right now is not the right time, maybe you still need some more information from me, and I would love to give it to you. I did not sign up when I first was invited, so I totally understand, but I do fully believe in what this has to offer. So I'll continue inviting people. I'll continue reaching out to the other women in the world that are like me, that are looking for those things like I was, because this has totally 360 transformed my life. And I will forever be thankful for that. And I will forever stick with it. And I will forever want everyone to feel this type of freedom and this type of potential and this type of positivity. So with that, if you guys are ever interested, please, please, please reach out. I love talking about it. I could go on forever. But I would just love to have you guys hop in and everybody join this team and come on the retreats with us and get all the girl time and hang out and team calls and all that stuff. So if it is something that you're interested in, please let me know so that we can chat a little bit more and find out what it would be like to be on this team. So I hopefully will talk to every single one of you guys soon.